your due date? 11. What? How many times have you been pregnant?
3.
This is your 3rd pregnancy?
Yes.
You have 2 babies
It's
at
in
home?
my ass.
You have 2 babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor.
I'm standing outside our medical clinic, and honestly, this was like almost too excruciating to watch, but necessary. I'm dumbfounded that Black women are still having to go through this in 2025, damn near 2026. And it all goes back to and why I keep and stay with my foot on folks' necks and never stop talking about what happened to me and what happened to my aunt, because this trope that Black women are superhuman and that we don't experience pain or a range of emotions like other women is some dangerous rhetoric that has to stop. It's not a flex to say strong as steel and sharp as iron. It's a quick way to get somebody killed because people believe that bullshit. And so when you see a Black woman screaming and hollering in pain, if you believe that, you assume that she's faking. You assume that it's melodramatic, and you don't believe her. And a beautiful experience of bringing life into this world turns into a horrific experience, and it didn't need to.
Let's talk about one of the most saddest and heartbreaking news of the day. A Black woman in active labor is denied immediate health care in Dallas Regional Hospital. This is something that should not happen to any woman. Now let's get to hear what people have to say about this. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Let's get to it, and we'll get back and have a discussion about this.
Y'all, I just seen one of the most disgusting, disheartening videos of a pregnant mother in the hospital in Dallas, Texas, and they were damn near denying her emergency health care. She was in active labor, and one of the clerical nurses that was checking her in had no sense of urgency, was not getting her out of there, was not calling for any doctors, other nurses, anything, basically ignoring her, just sitting on the phone, sitting at the computer while this girl is in pain, in active labor. And this is kind of why Black women, we're getting fed up of being told we are liars. I don't know where the stigma has come from that we just lie all the time, but I'm glad that something like this is getting major exposure. I feel really bad for the mother, and her mother too was there. The young lady that was pregnant, her mom was there filming all of this, and I applaud them for remaining calm in the situation, because I just have a feeling they are going to sue the pants off of this hospital. Y'all gotta really check in on your staff that you guys are bringing in here, because they will keep losing you millions. Y'all are worried about us and our hospital bills. Meanwhile, y'all got staff that's gonna keep making y'all lose millions and billions of dollars. But aside from that, yeah, this is very common, more than people think. I don't know. I don't want this to turn into an anti-white people rant, or my page to even turn into that, but y'all are really starting to piss us off, genuinely, genuinely, because the hate is so unwarranted. Y'all are so deep-rooted in jealousy, envy, anger, everything, that y'all will just kill people, because that could have killed that young woman. You're sick. You're mental. And not gonna lie, when I just had my baby last year, I honestly ran into this issue, and it had been 13 years since I had a baby, so I didn't really put any energy into it, especially because I wasn't in active labor. But my situation was somewhat similar to this young lady's. Now I'm past my due date. I go to my gynecologist, and they do, a scan and ultrasound on me, check everything. They're like, oh, hey, you don't have any more fluid, which apparently the ultrasound tech was not supposed to tell me that. Sorry, girl. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. But she had let me know, yeah, I'm not seeing any more fluid in here. We need to get you, go ahead to the hospital this time, because I didn't want to be induced. I just wanted everything naturally, whatever would happen. So I was about a week and a half past my due date. Anyway, I call my husband, we go to the hospital. Now, mind you, we did a hospital tour, and they gave us all the paperwork that needs to be filled out for check-in, and they, put it in our brains. Please fill this paperwork out and mail it in before you come in, so that your check-in is easy, smooth, and we can get you right to the doctor. They literally kept reiterating that. So, a week after we got home from the tour, I went and filled out all that paperwork, and I sent it in. I think it was around that time. Yeah, a week after the tour. I was still kind of early in my pregnancy, but getting close. So I sent all of that paperwork in, and I made copies of it too, just in case. We go to the hospital, we go and get checked in, and lo and behold, they can't find our paperwork that we filled out. And I don't know why I forgot the copies. whatever. Of course I would freaking forget the copies. So we're already there, and the lady is taking forever to check us in. And
I just watched a video of a Black woman basically in full-on labor, trying to be admitted into the hospital. And the hospital worker, and this is a Dallas hospital, white lady, there's no urgency. She acts like she's checking somebody in for their fucking yearly checkup, while this woman is screaming in pain, obviously in full-on labor. Black women are 4 times more likely to die in childbirth or from complications from childbirth. Black women are 4 times more likely to die in childbirth or from complications from childbirth. Studies still show that like half of white medical students still believe the myth that Black people feel pain differently or have thicker skin or less nerve endings. So please take today and cuss out a racist nurse if you can. We all know some, don't we?
The thing that's going to be really uncomfortable is that that nurse did that on purpose. That nurse was behaving that way to that Black woman on purpose. That woman enjoyed the opportunity to display her racism, to display power and control over. That woman, that triage nurse from Dallas Regional Medical Center in the emergency department room, did that to that woman on purpose because she is racist. It was a conscious choice to deny care, compassion, humility, grace, kindness. That was intentional. When you watch the video and you hear her tone, you'll be like, that was 100% intentional. We are dangerous to Black women and Black families because we carry with us so much internalized allegiance to our whiteness and patriarchy that we will exact harm, actual physical harm on somebody because it makes us feel like we are closer to a food chain and a system of power that was never made for us. We will punch down. We will kick down. We don't challenge the authority at the top. We're not challenging patriarchy. We are exacting revenge and power over someone that we think, oh, finally somebody that has less than us. And you wonder why Black women say we are the men of women and they pick a bear over us, or being trapped in a boardroom with a white man. That nurse's disdain and coldness mirrored the pastor that we saw a week ago, right? The one who said, no, I don't even have a parking spot for you. And then went on to church to talk about the grace of God's love. We have a real problem amongst us, white women. And it is not going to get better unless we, as white women, start unpacking our internalized biases and also holding other white women accountable for their behavior and the environments that they create. I hope that that woman who was subjected to that kind of treatment both sues the hospital and wins, but also has some support and therapy to help her recover from an awful experience while she was in labor, which should have been a...
I just watched something that absolutely disgusted me. As a former ER nurse and a current labor and delivery nurse, I usually try to seek the best intent of a nurse. Not today. Not today. Because barring you having a medical emergency yourself, where your legs, your arms, and your voice no longer work, there is zero excuse for the blatant neglect that I just watched. And as a reminder, Black women are 3 times as likely to die in and around childbirth than their white counterpart. Part of that is because they are not believed about their pain. How you can sit there on the computer and act like you don't notice that this woman is actively birthing beside you is crazy town to me. Unacceptable, inexcusable. And if you've got coworkers who you watch do something like that, you are just as...
So let's talk about being Black while sick. Let's talk about being Black while needing emergency medical care. Let's talk about being a Black woman needing emergency medical care. I just saw a video and a follow-up video, and I'm sure y'all have seen it too. It's viral. It's going around. Lots of people are talking about it. But the young woman in labor who was African American at the Dallas Regional Medical Center, in active labor, on her hands and knees in a wheelchair, which kudos says, I don't know, I'd have fallen and wouldn't have been able to get back up. So like that, while in active labor, on hands and knees, screaming in pain, justifiably so. She's in, again, active labor. And this bitch with a skin tone and hair color that looks like mine is just as cold as the snow miser. This lady, in the midst of all this bullshit that she's being put through, politely, mind you, politely asks if she can see an anesthesiologist. Is the anesthesiologist on his way? I'm assuming either for a shot of pain medication, some Stadol, or an epidural. Either way, she politely asked. And this lady twisted around in them little swivel chairs that they had, swung around in that chair and goes, I can't help you, bitch, get a new job. Now, look, I understand the stress and the bullshit that medical professionals go through. I do. I was in nursing school clear up to my clinical rotation. Seen it, done it, understand. I do. But that woman's water had broken. She was in active labor. That is a do not discuss, do not stop, do not pass go, do not collect $200 up to the L&D. I've never seen an ED that wanted to deal with a woman in active labor, or even a woman that seemed like she might be in active labor, or she might have some sort of pregnancy complications past the point of viability. I've never seen an ER that even wanted to fuck with that shit. And with 6 kids, I've seen a lot of ERs. Like, what the fuck? I dropped out of nursing school because I decided that I hate most people, and even I would be rubbing her back and whisking her up to the L&D. Like, what the fuck? And you can't convince me it's not medical racism. You can't, because here's the deal, right? Black women and infants have a astronomically higher likelihood of expiring during the birthing process. That's not a coincidence. And it's because of shit like that. It's because of that 5 seconds of apathy, that 5 seconds of non-belief, that 5 seconds of you're just being dramatic. That 5 seconds can cost somebody or their child their life. Medical racism has got to end.
So imagine this. A woman is literally fighting through contractions. Her body is telling her one thing, it's time. She does what any responsible woman and mother would do. She goes to the hospital, a place meant to protect life. But instead of help, she is denied the one thing that could protect her and her baby, an urgent medical attention. Let us be clear. Labor isn't something you can wait. It's not an headache. It's not a flu. It's a medical emergency that requires immediate assessment. Every minute counts. Denying care at that point is not just negligence. It is dangerous. It's life-threatening. This situation shows a bigger problem in our healthcare system, especially in places where nurses have poor communication, or plain lack of empathy are normalized, and the nurses are actually racist. It's a normalized thing that the nurses in the hospital think that black women don't feel pain, and if they scream, they're just exaggerating. And it's where you get more number of black women die during birth than the white women. Even the black babies get infection because of when the mom wants to give birth, she's scared to wait. It hurts the baby. And imagine the fear and the pain, the humiliation, the vulnerable. You are scared, your body is pushing out a new life, and the people trying to help you decide you don't matter enough. That kind of trauma stays with someone forever. I also say this, when a system forgets empathy, it becomes dangerous. A hospital without compassion, it's just a building. Healthcare without care, it's just chaos. And if we don't speak of this situation, that keep happening. Women deserve dignity. Mothers deserve protections, and no one, absolutely no one, should give birth in fear because someone refused to do their job. It wasn't fair, and people like this in the health system should actually be left out and even get fired. You cannot come and get to be racist to a woman that is in labor and actually needs your help. That is not fair and not good, and it's lack of empathy and humanity in it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think the staff should be held accountable? Do you think healthcare workers need stricter protocols? And if you've ever experienced something similar, you are strong and your story matters. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Tell us about your experience. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more.